Alright, so chapter 1177 called Fury was an epic fury, and you will understand by the end of this review, you will see the true fury of one of the characters of the Straw Hats by the end of this chapter. So hold on tight, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's go for the review. And so on elbaf, we are on the West Village in the very beginning of the chapter, and we start by seeing Gaban's son that's literally going in awe in front of all of the giant warriors that's trying to protect the kids still, and he's like, oh my god, this is the giant warriors and everything, and he's super excited. But some of them are still like holding on to the kids and trying to run, because right there's the devils that are coming towards them. And as these giant devils are coming towards all of the other giants that are trying to resist all those demons, you can see how big they are. And basically they are talking to the chiefs. They are talking to Dory and Broggy. They are telling them, guys, you gotta come back to our side. You gotta come back to the devils that we are, because look at how invincible and big and strong we are. With all that craziness and everything. And as you see that, one of those devil giants actually go to attack Dory, and Dory is literally protecting himself, but at the same time he gets slashed by that attack of one of the giant devils, and he gets injured from it. And he can see that, to think that the proud warriors of elbaf are coming down to becoming demons and everything, to do whatever the hell they want with no restrictions, no nothing. That's not the proud warriors of elbaf. It is not. And so that's why literally Dory and Brage, with some of the other giant warriors that are still there, they are like, shame on you, you damn idiots. And they are right, because those giant devils have completely lost all of their minds. But then this chapter is basically just a recap of what's going on in every part of the battlefield, because now we are literally in the battlefield in elbaf, where people are fighting people, and people are trying to rescue other people, and people are trying to destroy other people at the same time. And now we are in the Sun Realm. The Sun Realm is where Chopper is with Gyaban, and they are also with Kashi, and in front of them they also have some giant devils in front of them that were not with the other group, and that are trying to kill basically everybody they see, or transform everybody they can put in between them. And Gaban also knew about that, because Gaban is the one in here who told Kashi, don't do it, don't go in between the both of them, because if you do, you will transform as well. So from that perspective, Gaban also knew something. He probably knows something from back in the day, where he used to fight the gods, knights and everything, and maybe that he already went through something just like this in the past, where he fought some devils basically, and he knew about the trick. And the trick is, if you get in between those devils, those two devils, you will boom, transform yourself and become one just like them. And Kashi is like, I don't want to fight you guys. I don't want to fight my friends and everything. I don't want to have to do nothing to my friends. But those friends that turn into devils are ready to actually get your ass, basically. And right as we are talking about all of that, boom, we go back again to the West Village, where Dory and Bragi are there with Zoro, and of course even Hajruddin is there, and that's where you see them basically going at 100%. From the previous chapter, we've already seen that they understood that you gotta give those demon giants a fatal blow, and that will actually help them transform back into normal. And that's where you see Bragi going in with the axe. That's where you see Hajruddin using one of his attack called Gungir, and he hits it really hard. And you can see that basically the demon giant that's in front of him, boom, his stomach basically got destroyed. Same as for the devil giants that got hit by Dory, he got destroyed. And same also as for Dory also uses his Ikoku sovereignty, and he woof, and you can see the demon giant in front of him, literally all of his stomach part disappeared. So there's no more connection in between the top parts and the left and the bottom part. And that's when you even see another giant using another technique called gigantic drum with basically a hammer, and you know. And from all of these attacks, the most impressive one is actually Zoro, because he uses an attack called Three Sword Style, Red Ogre, Mega Fury, and you literally see him destroy the giant devil that's in front of him, and you can see the face literally get cut. So there's no more face anymore to that giant devil. Like, god damn, they completely went rogue on those giant devils. But hey, they understood what the assignment was and they gave their 100%, and that's what we saw. So there's no, oh no, One Piece is getting crazy violent lately, no, whatever. No, this is literally, we're getting close to the ending of the story. So this is kind of what we should be watching or reading about, you know? And that's where we also get a shot of Elder Yarul, and he's looking at everything that's going on in the battlefield, and he's looking at, Zoro, Dory Bragi, and everybody, like how they are going against the demon giants and everything. And he's like, it looks like they are having a blast doing everything they are doing right now. And I mean, I don't, I totally understand them, you know? But then, right after that, we go back again to whatever's going on with Chopper on the Sun Realm with Gaban and Kashi and everything. And that's when we see literally Chopper, one of the most epic moments of the chapter. Chopper actually eats one of his rumble balls and he transforms into his awakened form, basically, into the giant monster and all of that. And he goes to one of those demon giants and he says, knock it off! And he hits that giant, basically slapping him, not punching him, but basically slapping him. And from there, basically that giant goes like, oh no, goes to the ground and poof, transforms back into normal. So from that slap, everybody in the One Piece community is like, hold on. What does it mean? Whoa. For me, I thought that maybe there's a time lapse on how much you can be a demon for. For example, as the moment you get turned, maybe you have like 5 minutes or so, and then you can come back to normal or something. And I was thinking that maybe by coincidence, every time that one of the Straw Hats goes and punches them or does something to those demon giants, that's when boom, that timeline goes off, and basically the 5 minutes are off, and now you are back to normal right as at that same time. But the coincidence is a little too big. So in this scenario right here, how about Chopper actually having some form of power that we don't know about yet? How about, for example, just like Luffy, how his gum fruit is actually the human fruit version Nika? Well, how about Chopper? How about his devil fruit is actually the human fruit version human, but it has more capabilities than that we don't know of yet. And maybe, just maybe, and I'm gonna say it right now, one time for the one time, maybe he's the forest god. And that will deserve a whole different video to it by itself. So tune in for that one on the channel, guys. But that theory will actually stand, because the forest god, you think, it's somebody that lives in the forest. Well, how about Chopper? Chopper is, was living in a forest and everything, and he ate the devil fruit and everything. But then when you actually look at it, Dr. Hitlerlook was telling him that on this island is a mushroom that's able to heal everything or something like that. From that perspective, how about that mushroom being the devil fruit that Chopper actually ate? Maybe. So let's talk it out in the comments down below. Let me know, guys, how do you feel about this theory? Let me know. But from that scene, everybody's astonished. Everybody's like, what? Hold on, how did you turn back into normal? Like, we don't understand, and no one understands, and that's why we need to talk about theories, But then we jump into another section of elbaf again, and now we are back to the outside of the owl library, and in there we've got Sanji, we've got Frankie, and we've got Jinbe also. And in this scene, we can clearly see that they completely destroyed Kellingham. They basically cut all of his body, and his head is somewhere, his torso is somewhere, and his legs is somewhere else. And since he cannot reattach himself, he cannot actually regenerate. out of just one body part. And that's actually genius because they found out actually how to go against an immortal even. And that's by using the same trick that they kind of used back in the day against even Buggy when they knew that, you can't kill him, you can't slice him and all of that, and he can't die. Well, how about you just separate him and then you just leave him there. And that's where you see that Killing Gum is basically pissed. He's pissed that even Jinbei is the one who's holding him because Killing Gum is racist. He's totally racist against the fishermen and all, against the fishmen and all of that. So by even having Jinbei hold his head, he is so mad and he is. Whew. And he's like, you miserable dogs. You don't even know what you guys did. You don't know who you're facing. But on the same token, Sanji is like, I don't even believe that it's people like you who did this to Elbaf and who are actually ruling everything and protecting the gods of the One Piece universe and everything. Sanji is like astonished and everything. And then for the final scene of the chapter, we get back to Luffy with Loki and everything, and we see that Luffy is actually seeing Nami, Sanji, Frankie, and Jinbei, and the Straw Hats are astonished by the size of Loki. They're like, oh my god, he looks like a sea monster. He is so big and everything. But at the same time, epic moment of the chapter. Luffy gets scolded and Loki gets scolded by Nami. Nami is going crazy. Nami is like, how dare you? How dare you put those flames? And then I have to command Zeus to go over there and put some rain so that there's no more fire, because the more fire there is, the more elbaf is burning. So what the hell are you guys doing? And you see how pissed Nami is, and Luffy is so like, I'm sorry and all of that, that even Ratatoskr is coming next to him and he's like, it's okay, it's okay. And from that scene, Luffy gets so mad at actually Loki, and he turns to Loki and he's like, it's because of you that Nami is screaming at me and everything. And Loki does not care. Loki is like, I don't care about what your crewmates are saying and everything. All I care about is destroying the enemy and everything. And so he literally uses a beam of lightning out of his mouth towards Luffy, like, oh. And Luffy, it doesn't do anything to him, it's electricity. We all know electricity and how it affects Luffy from in air and everything. And even Loki is astonished. He's like, what the hell? It didn't do nothing to you? He's like, yeah, okay, never mind. But that's where, in the center of Branch 8, with Brook's group, we get to the final epic moment of this chapter, where Brook is still fighting Gunko Emu, and even Brook is there to help Brook, because at the end of the day, Usopp is a brave warrior of the seas, and especially on Elbaf, he will never turn his back to the enemy to save himself and to let one of his comrades die. And that's where we get to see one of Usopp's biggest moments, because Usopp here says, I've always dreamed of visiting this place, to come to the land I've admired. I won't disgrace myself not here. Besides, I am burning with fury right now. And he tells Brook, these guys, they're looking down on Elbaf. Their gutless plan was to sneak here and kidnap children. They didn't use their own strength at all in this invasion. They relied on those monsters and hijacked the minds of all those proud warriors, trying to force them to slaughter each other. And he's like, how dare you carry out such a cowardly, underhand scheme, you shameless bastard. And from that bastard, he gets literally kicked by Gunko Emu, and he went flying, But that does not stop Usopp, because Usopp is coming back, and he's coming back strong. He says the warriors of Elbaf fight with their own swords and shields. They put their own lives on the line. They're a nation of warriors. And if you want to conquer them, do it fair and square. Fight them head on, you spineless coward. And he basically tells that to Emu, the world of One Piece itself. So literally to have Brook and Usopp, who are going against Gunko Emu, basically the world of One Piece. Epic moments. Epic moments. Some of the Straw Hats are literally going against the big boss of One Piece already on Elbaf. And Emu is like, oh, A dominant ruler does not soil its own hands. And that's where Imo is actually mistaken. Because right after that, we get to see Loki and Luffy showing up right in front of Gunko. And they're like, yeah, it's her. We can that hockey is coming from her. And Luffy is also watching the battlefield and what Gunko did to Brook and Usopp. And Luffy is pissed. He is mad about what happened to his crewmates and he's about to go in an epic fury. And from that perspective, Imo is watching the both of them and he's like, huh, Nidhogg, Nika, submit or let's fight. But this fight will settle and will divide the whole world. And from that perspective, epic moment. Next chapter is going to be epic because we're gonna get literally one of the most epic fights of One Piece that we've ever seen. On one side, we've got Imo, aka the world of One Piece. And on the other side, we've got Nika on top of Nidhogg, just like the legends said it. And we'll see one of the most epic fights in One Piece. So hang on tight. Your boy is gonna see you in the next video. And we're gonna be talking about that epic fight for years. On that note, guys, let me know what you guys think about this whole chapter in the comments down below. Let your boy know. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.